Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Brae Hunziker.
Cool. We spoke to Brae ages ago. If you watched the last week's one, then this is the rest of the conversation. That we spoke to him for like over 2 hours, but I can kind of chopped it down to this is the second part. So if you haven't listened to the first one, go and listen to the first one, and then come back and then listen to the rest of this. We talked about why you We talked about why you shouldn't take a camera everywhere with you, music that Brae likes, how to pick music for your YouTube videos.
Yeah, we did a little deep dive into like his videography as well as his photography skills, you know, about himself and his kind of missions that he sets for himself to go on these photo trips and document it. And then we do our classic quick fire questions for him.
Yeah, it's the last time you're going to hear any of them.
Yeah. If you haven't heard them yet, go back and watch all the other episodes or listen to all the other episodes. But yeah, I mean, again, without sounding too cringy, it was a huge honour to speak to someone like Brae because he's someone we've known for a long time. He's hugely influential and his work is great. So again, still a little bit starstruck that he is an ambassador for Front. He'll be on Front when we launch. And yeah, he's awesome. You know, you've definitely heard of him if you've heard of us. So yeah. Well, you know, if you don't know Brae and you know us, then yeah, you're living under a rock. But yeah, enjoy part 2.
I'm just looking in my closet right now and I see like all these shirts that I just, haven't worn in like a month. And I'm like, oh, get it out. So that's kind of how it was with the film cameras. Like just wasn't using the Pentax as much anymore. And yeah, I like just clean slates. I like resetting and just start from scratch. So,
I think it's a good mentality to have as well. Because you can let go. Like my missus is terrible for it, right? So, and I am a little bit sometimes like on to something because I'm like, no, that's worth 50 quid, or it's worth. Yeah. But then it just sits there, and I have no motivation to put it on eBay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good. It just feels good to throw it out. Don't worry about it. It's not worth it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not worth me wanting to keep it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about a couple of quid, dollars, whatever.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. When I bought that little, this like Canon rangefinder I've got, that was like, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to get rid of every other camera I own. And they're all just still there. I've just now got one extra camera. I'm like, because every time I go to do it, I'm like, oh, well, that one, it's got that nice little double exposure slide. And that one, I took a really nice picture on it. And that was the first camera I ever bought. And that's worth, 40 quid or something. So, But it's really, or one of them I've got, I'm like, it's worth nothing. So I couldn't sell it. So what? So it would just be throwing it away. So I might just leave it on my shelf. And
I have this freaking camera like that I just impulsively bought on eBay. This Nikon Zoom Touch 400 point and shoot. Things like so terrible, but I bought it for like $25. So like, what am I gonna do? Sell it for 25, pay $8 to ship it. It's like not even worth it at that point. So I don't know. It's weird, like I don't know what to do with this thing now. But
I was going to ask you about this. So obviously from your videos, we see, you going out specifically to shoot. And then I know some of the older videos you've posted of you with your friends going out or whatever you're doing, snowboarding, out on boats, whatever it might be. But are you one of those people that maybe you was and maybe you're not now, I don't know, but are you the sort of person that still carries around like a point and shoot or a digital camera, whatever it might be, on a daily basis? Or do you kind of leave photography, like you can put the camera down and then specifically go out as and when you want to?
Yeah, I put it down, and I make it pretty like clear when I'm going out to take pictures, or I'm just going out to live life. But I think that's in part because I haven't really found a great point and shoot yet. I'm never gonna bring a camera everywhere I go. Like last night, I went to my buddy's house to watch the UFC fights, and it's just I'm not gonna be bringing cameras to like stuff like that. It's like I'm just there to hang out with my friends, and I don't even think it's healthy to have a camera on you at like every second of the day wherever you go. If I go into the city for a day, then yeah, that's a perfect opportunity to like bring my point shoot along and just capture what I see. But it's important to separate that stuff, especially when you're talking about close friends, family members, relationships and stuff like that. To constantly have photography on your mind can be distracting, and I think it can kind of, it can
Like, track you from what you're doing. Yeah, I mean,
it can be kind of toxic too. It's just like if you can't focus solely on something else. But it's a hard thing because I love taking a camera with me wherever I go, and I love documenting life and stuff. But
well, I went out today, so I went on a bike ride with my mum today.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my camera because I'm like, I should take my camera, like just a little point and shoot. But I took one photo, so even if I didn't take a photo, it wouldn't bother me to carry it because it's quite easy.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, did I take that photo because in my head I was like, well, I want to capture this moment,
Mm-hmm.
or did I take the photo because I felt like I should take a photo when my camera's there?
Yeah.
And I did. I'll be honest. I quickly pedaled off in front of her, turned the bike around, got off the bike, and then I took a photo of my mum as she was coming towards me.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to do that. I would have still had a nice time. I still would have remembered the day that we'd had.
Mm-hmm.
But I took a photo because I had a camera, when really I should go, that would be a good photo. Oh, I've got it. But I don't know. It's finding that balance, isn't it?
That's a great point. And yeah, it is totally about finding that balance. And oh God, I'm guilty of that all the time. It's like, oh, I have a camera with me, so I feel obligated to take a picture rather than, oh, I'm experiencing this moment. Thankfully, I have a camera on me to capture it. It's a tough thing to try to balance, especially when you're just super interested in photography. It also might be one of those things that maybe is best to not overanalyze, and that because I'm an overthinker in general. So yeah, trying to think things through a little bit on a little bit more simple terms is always good for me. But I'm not going to be bringing like a medium format camera around with me every time I get in the car. And but I think like when you can find something that works for you that's super unobtrusive, and you almost forget you want something that you forget you have until you need it, like that's why point shoots I think are great, because you can really kind of forget about them. They're in your pocket, but then you're experiencing life and you see something that you want to take a picture of. Oh, thank God I have my camera with me and I can snap that really quick, like that. I think that's the pure, or the healthiest relationship with photographing, like your daily life. If you're going to photograph something every day, or bring a camera with you every day, you want something that you forget you have until that moment comes where you realize you need it. So
I wanted to ask you, Brae, about how you choose music in your videos.
Okay.
The only reason I say this, I was telling Luke just before you joined, me and my missus have a song that we really like we've listened to in the last year or so. And I realised the other day that it was actually from one of your videos that I watched.
Really?
The song, I discovered this band, but I only really know the one song. But I don't know if you remember, it's a band called Giants and Pilgrims.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, and the song is like Ships Passing or something like that.
That's so funny because my girlfriend is obsessed with that song too after that video.
Yeah.
She's
So,
like, dude, I love that ship's passing.
yeah, and I
song.
heard it from your video, and
Yeah.
I showed my missus at the time, and she was like, yeah, this is really good. And then
Yeah.
to the point where we kind of know the words, we can sing along.
Mhm.
And then I said to her the other day, I was like, oh shit, I remember this song came from one of Brae's videos, and I Shazammed it at the
Yeah.
time. But yes, it was
Nice.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's pretty rad to think that it came from a video like that.
Yeah, I know music's such a big part in my videos. Music's never something that I want to just find something that can take up space in the background. Like my view on music and videos is that it should always like it's such a huge part of the experience, and I don't think everybody realizes that how much a song can play a role in the way that you feel during a video. So I'm not going to go as far to say that every single song I pick is specifically intentional to make somebody feel a certain way or bring out a certain sense of emotion on a deep level in each video, but I never really just hop on a copyright free site and just find some nice background beat that I think fits and throw that in there. I take a lot of time, and it's actually something that I don't always look forward to because I know it's going to take a lot of time to find the right song. So I hop on to I use Artlist, and they have a really good library of copyright free music, and I'll hop on Artlist and just scroll like for 30 minutes, 45 minutes to find. And I have, and this is after I've put all the footage into the timeline. So I know the general sense of the direction that I want the video to go and the general feeling of the video. And so I'll just go through and I'll just click on something and I'll scrub through it briefly. And if there's tones and pitches and lyrics and character in the song that I feel like strikes a certain chord with me and that matches the vibe of the video, I'll go ahead and download it, and I'll get a big folder of just these songs, and I'll just kind of go through, and I'm thinking about the way that it's going to play out in the video, thinking about the way that the audience is going to react to the song and how it can aid in the overall story and emotion. So it is intentional with the way that I want emotion to be conveyed through the songs that I pick, but it's not always on a super, super deep level. It's just one of the things that I've always felt really comfortable with and something that I feel like I've got a decent skill set at is matching music to visuals. Whenever I listen to music, I'm always thinking about a video that can coincide with it. And whenever I see a video or get footage, I'm always kind of thinking about what music would flow nicely with it. So that's something that I've always been comfortable with. And in all of my videos, I always try to make sure that the music is a very, very strong pillar in the overall experience. But it's a time-taking process.
Do you ever do it the other way around, where you hear a song and you're like, I should definitely make a video to this?
Oh, that's most of the time. Most of the time, that's what I think. I don't usually end up making a video on those for those songs, just because it's super easy to hear a song and then think of a video that should go along with it, and then it's a lot harder to actually go out and do it because a lot of the ideas that I have for these songs are way far-fetched and would require budgets that I just don't have, and like a crew and team of people, because my mind just runs so fast. I hear a song and I go, oh man, this would be sick, and then I have to take a step back and remember, oh well, that would require like a Hollywood set and everything, a massive budget to bring that idea to life. So but there are definitely a few songs that I've heard that I do have plans to make a video for in the future, film photography related, and it's always fun to let your imagination run wild with that, with the music side of things, because I cannot stress how important all the audio aspects of a video are to the overall story, not just the music, but like sound effects and the ambiance and everything in the audio spectrum is massively important.
It's like on your phone, they make little like videos for you, just like kind of automatically does them out of the photos that you've got on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I watch them and you're like, oh man, feel so sad. They're watching all these
Yeah.
pictures, and then you're like, oh, it's because the phone pre-selected sad music.
Yeah.
And you can literally switch it to upbeat.
I know.
Oh man, look at these wicked pictures.
It's so funny how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Bizarre.
yeah, just
Like, when it's pictures of people, it will be like sad or
mhm.
or whatever. And if it's when it's other stuff, it's kind of picks different ones. It's kind of weird, and I kind of hated it at first, but now every time it says, "Oh, we created a new video for you from your last 3 months of photos," I'm like,
yeah. I know.
who's your favorite all-time photographer?
So this is I get asked this, and I'll touch on it briefly. It might be bad to say, but I don't look at a lot of other photographers' work in that way. So yeah, it's always weird for me to like admit this, but I don't have like photography idols. I don't have people that I'm drastically inspired by from a photographical standpoint. And I think that's just because my approach with photography isn't as much about the actual picture itself. It's very much about the experience that I have while taking pictures. So for me, I live my life and I have the interests that I have, and I'm lucky enough to be able to bring a camera along with me and have those experiences. But it's never so much about the actual final picture that I get. And I kind of talked about this earlier. So when I think about photographers and great photographers and people that were known for their amazing images, I always, I guess maybe it's my own naiveness, but I have a preconceived notion that it's because their actual images themselves were something noteworthy. And so I don't have like idols in that sense. But people that, or one person that I've really admired from a photographical standpoint is Lindsay Addario. She's a documentary photographer, and I think documentary photographers are people like, maybe I'll answer that question kind of in a general pool of documentary photographers. I think they, because they share that aspect with me where it's more about the experience around the picture and the overarching story around that final image. Because they want to shed a light on something. They want to tell a story to people that are unfamiliar. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's a really weird question for me, because I have like filmmaking idols, like I have certain filmmakers that I just really look up to, but I've never felt that way about photographers. And I hope that doesn't come across as negatively or anything, but yeah, it's a weird one for me, because I've never come across a photographer that, and it's partially because I don't look for a lot of photography. I don't I don't research a lot of photographers, and I don't look at a lot of other photographers' work.
Yeah.
As painfully as it is to admit that. So
it's a cool way to look at it, really. Like, my first thing whenever I get into anything new is like, beyond the internet, is just buying a load of books about it, or looking through random books on Amazon or whatever, and then buying some stuff. And I think I did that with photography, and bought a William Klein book and loved it, and was like, cool, you can just go and take photos in the street. Brilliant. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I think, I guess I do that for everything in terms, like music, photography, anything else that I'm into. It's not necessarily about like emulating those people, but it's definitely like, I love what they do, and I kind of want to do something because I've been inspired by it. But
yeah,
that just more around the process of taking the photograph rather than anything else. It's really, it's great.
I respect that answer, and I can relate to it somewhat, just because I think yeah, you like your photography because you remember the day you went out and shot it and what because of it. And then I think of some of my favourite photos that I've taken, exactly the same. That I look at the photo, jump into it, and remember what I was like being there. And I haven't necessarily gone out just to shoot because I'm, I'm sure as photographers we all can admit that we get the itch just to take photos. But the ones the most tend to be that, regardless if people are in it or people aren't in it, it's landscape, street photography, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
The ones that stand out as my favourites are the ones that I've enjoyed taking, and that's not related to anything that I've happened to be into or researching.
Yeah, I don't, because the last thing I want is for people to think that I answer that question because I think that I'm better than other people, or I'm trying to make sure that people know that is that I know that I am nobody in the world of photography. Like, I want to make that very clear. Like, it's not because I think I'm better than anybody else or anything like that. It's like photography is just such a personal thing to me that it's just something that I want to explore on my own. And whenever I've gotten into a new hobby in the past, the first thing that I do is always go on YouTube and look at videos of people that are doing that. And then I find myself subconsciously copying them as I go throughout my own journey. I did that a little bit when I started film photography. My first few videos kind of emulated Willem's format, because he was the guy that I was watching. And then it took I had to take a step back and realize, hey, for once in your life, this is a huge hobby of yours, a huge interest. Just try to explore it on your own. Try to not have too many people that whose work you're constantly looking at and admiring, because let's see where this journey goes with just your own mind leading the way. So hopefully that clarifies it a little bit more. But
we'll just cut that last bit out so everyone just thinks you're really arrogant.
Perfect.
No, but I know you know, because with Willem, he's done his own thing. That's
so it's like I want to take the time to I want to find what my own thing is. And then once I feel like I've found that, then I think is when I'll be able to take the time to look at what everybody else has been doing, and then look at some of the greats, and because I want to just solidify what my thing is first before I get too influenced by everybody else. So much for the quick fire response on that one. But I saw that and I was like, there's no way I can shortly answer this.
Like I said to you, I'm pretty sure this might have 12 views, so don't worry too much.
It doesn't matter. And I'll try to make sure it gets a little bit more than 12.
I completely get what you're saying. It didn't come across arrogant. You didn't come across as a dick. It makes perfect sense.
It reminds me of Josh Astrop, someone who we interviewed, who is just someone we know who takes photos on his phone, and we wanted to talk to him for this, and he was like, I don't have a favourite photographer. I can't really answer any of those questions because I don't know anything about photography. I don't own a camera. I don't want to own a camera. Everything I've ever done in my life, I have turned into a business. Every hobby, I've gone, oh, this is great. How can I monetize it? Like, so he's a musician, or he's a musician. He built a rehearsal studio and was like basically there 14 hours a day. That was his job, and he started hating it, and he was like, I don't want to hate doing this, so I'm never going to own a camera. I'm never going to find out anything about photography. He doesn't even turn his phone sideways. Everything is portrait on an iPhone.
Wow.
And he takes really beautiful pictures.
But yeah, they look fucking sick.
Yeah, awesome. That's so cool.
And then knowing that he takes them without following, knowing anything about photography or other photographers.
Yeah. Oh man.
They're just you just look at them, you're like,
wild.
Awesome. Yeah. Good attitude to have.
He did message me today, and he was like, "Have you got a drone?" I need a drone. There's a shot I want to get, and there's a tree in the way, so I need to get over it. And I'm like, no, buy a ladder, climb a building. And he was like, no, I can only get it. I'm like, so you are thinking about it more now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no
really
kidding.
Nice. It's like a nice way
That's cool.
doing it. But
wow,
yeah, cool. That's all right. Well, the next question is who do you think is the hardest working photographer today? And I don't know if that's like more easy to answer or maybe harder.
It's probably just as hard because I'm not sure who's
what about videographer, editor, director, anything like that?
Oh man, I'm gonna forget his name. He's actually he lives in the UK. He's a filmmaker. I can't remember, I'm gonna forget his name, but he was making these short films every day. They weren't vlogs. They were like, it was like a DP reel every day for like a certain experience that he would have. And he did it for so long. And I was just blown away by how beautiful these daily snippets were. It was literally like a daily snippet, but like from someone who obviously has a keen eye from a cinematography standpoint. And his work is just Zach something. Yeah, he just makes these little beautiful snippets about his life, and he does a lot of similar stuff that I do too. A lot of outdoors stuff, and he, kind of the BMX scene and whatnot. And he was just consistently making these amazing little videos, and that was really pretty mind blowing to me. How on a daily basis he was able to go out and put together literally a DP reel like a day, and I think he did it for like a year, and he still does it, not every day, but he's still doing it. So yeah, Zach, I'll find his name and I'll let you guys know so you can put him in the description or something. But
no, we'll keep flashing up every time you say you can't remember his name.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'd have to go with Zach, and he's not like super well known either, so that's kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah.
I mean, that, like, side note, that's kind of what we're about as well. Like, obviously you've built somewhat of a following, Brae, and we're very grateful to have you, but that's kind of why we wanted to start Front, was because we want to build. You'll admit it yourself, there are some fantastic photographers, artists, whatever it is, illustrators, filmmakers that are out there that just don't know, don't know how to promote themselves, so to speak.
I know.
And that's the reason I put that question in originally, was because we were interviewing our friend Ayush, who is a documentary photographer, but he's also like, he's just literally out every single day at protests and stuff like that.
Yeah, amazing.
He's one of my favorite photographers, and that was kind of, I was just thinking about what his work, and was like, he's just amazing. And it struck me that there's probably a lot of hardworking, unknown photographers out there that need that kind of light shining on them. So that was kind of the reason originally that I put that
yeah.
I don't know if it comes across as a slightly odd question.
Oh no, I thought it was cool. I was intimidated to answer because my answer to the first question, but no, yeah, it's that. I mean, that's why I appreciate what you guys are doing so much too, is because it's, it's just, I've only done it twice, but both times I'm just constantly like, oh my gosh, how are these people out here making this high quality work? This work that's so fantastic, and just there isn't a light being shined on it. So anytime anybody does anything for the community that can kind of help shed a light on it, I think that is a step in the right direction towards a more healthy presence on social media in this whole digital age. So really awesome to see you guys taking a step that direction too.
So the next question, about like favorite top 3 albums, and they can be like all time or just stuff that you've been listening to recently. You recommend? Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi.
Do you know what I said to Luke? I was like, I bet he picked Kid Cudi because you played it, and you played it off cool. You're like, I'm just going to put a random album on. You picked Kid Cudi, and in one of the community galleries, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's really good album."
Dude, I have never re-listened to an album more than Man on the Moon 3. I mean, since it's come out, I've listened to at least 4 songs in that album every day since it came out. When my Spotify Wrapped happens at the end of this year, it's going to be disturbing how many hours I listened to that freaking album. But I don't know. It's amazing. So Man on the Moon 3, and then Camp, CAAMP. They did a self-titled album a while back. Camp is just it's mountain music. It's just whenever I'm up in the mountains, I throw on Camp. They're actually into the whole analog thing too. So they do a bunch of vinyl releases. They do album covers like on film and stuff. They're into film photography and hip to the whole scene.
Did you mention them in a video once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used their music too in a video. One of my first videos called The Ranch Trip. I used like 8 of their songs in that video. That they are awesome. And then so yeah, those 2, and then third album, probably long live ASAP Rocky's album that came out a few years back. I like that album a lot too, and I wish ASAP Rocky would come out with another album soon. I don't know where he's been, but yeah.
Right.
So those are subject to change too, but right now probably my favorites.
Well, funny you say about ASAP Rocky, because he recently brought out a song. Well, I don't know if you've heard of him. There's a UK rapper called Slow Tie.
Mm-mm.
So check him out. So he's done
Okay.
He's done this guy called Slow Tie is from the town that we're from called Northampton.
Uh-huh.
And he's blown up. But he's still very true to Northampton.
Cool.
His roots are guided here, which is really cool.
That's sweet.
I don't pretend that I know him, but
Yeah.
our local pub, and he's stayed true to it. But he brought out a song, or recently brought out a song called Mazzer, featuring ASAP Rocky.
Oh, sick! I'll check it out for sure.
You watch, go watch a couple of Slow Tie videos. You'll appreciate the filming behind them, because every single video is so unique and visually insane to watch.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, watch the one with ASAP Rocky, and it's a trip watching that video for sure.
They're good, aren't they? Because the first one's it's just his mates as well, isn't it? Making them.
Yeah. ASAP's music video style is so sick. Yeah. He's got some of the best music videos.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely like Slow Tie. Even if you don't like it, you'll appreciate the videos for sure.
Okay, cool. Check it out for sure.
So the other question is basically the same question, but for movies.
/TV shows.
Oh, okay. /TV shows, that changes everything.
Well, no, you can't. We would rather movies, but
okay.
Don't like movies.
Top 3 movies: Interstellar, Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and the third slot's always a tough one. Probably. Oh boy. I knew the first 2. I saw the question you sent. I was like, oh, first 2 is easy, and then I was hoping that the third would just pop into my head, but it's not. It might be The Hurt Locker. That's a really good film, and I also love that Catherine Bigelow was the first female to win Best Director for it.
Oh, awesome.
So that was pretty sweet. And it was shot on 16mm film. What's that?
I didn't realize it was shot on film.
Yeah, it was shot on 16mm, which is pretty sweet. And they use zooms really well in that film. I love the style. It's so gritty, and the zooms are so prevalent, and it plays such a big part in the storytelling.
Yeah.
But since you threw the TV question out, I got my top 3 TV shows ready to go. So I'm just gonna say them. True Detective. Have you guys seen the first season of True Detective?
Yeah.
I know you have.
Oh my god, that dude, like I can't get like that's some of my favorite writing and like, oh man. And then the Queen's Gambit was unbelievable. Oh my god, I didn't know it was about chess at first. I like, oh, I click on this, and then I like got sucked into a series about chess. It's so
I
good.
was blown away by that. I thought it was like, I thought she was a wicked actor in it.
Yeah,
And yeah, the way it was filmed, like you said, it's about chess, but I was captivated to watch it.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Yeah, Queen's Gambit and then Breaking Bad, of course. But
I just finished rewatching that.
I'm about due for a rewatch.
So good. I haven't watched the Queen's Gambit. I kind of.
Oh, sure.
You haven't watched it? Oh, what are you doing? You have to immediately.
I want to watch it, but also I can tell you a really good Anya Taylor-Joy story. I met her once. Have you seen The Witch?
Yeah.
Right. So that helped. Yep. Didn't know what to say and just went. Great film. And she went, oh, and walked off.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, a weird thing to do. But at the time, I was like,
that's one of the best things I've ever heard. That's so good. Holy crap.
Took me a while.
I wish I had a story like that.
Yeah, that's also reasons I've been put off watching.
That's understandable.
You should still watch it. It's still good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it doesn't look good, but I'm going to give it back. These are basically film photography related questions, 3 film photography related things. The first one is cine still.
Can I do a middle? I think it's like, I guess, I mean, I'd say overrated, but I don't know. It's a cool film. I like it. And I like higher speed color films. So, but the whole thing surrounding Cinestill, I think it's a bit overrated. I think people aren't using it for the actual functionality that it offers, rather just trying to, aid in the hype and the clout, the Cinestill clout, if you will. But I'll go overrated.
So the next one is Leica, but like with a caveat of like if you've ever used one or not.
Well, I have never used a Leica, so grain of salt. But I mean, I have to say overrated. I guess it depends on the I mean, I don't know. Like my girlfriend's kind of interested in getting an M6, and so I'm like kind of been looking at the prices and stuff, and it's like, dude, after you invest in a good piece of glass, you're gonna spend like $6,000. And it's like, here's my what I'll say about it is like, I look at buying a film camera like, people buying a car. Like at the end of the day, you're buying a car to get from point A to point B. You're buying a camera to get a picture, and there's plenty of other 35 millimeter cameras that can deliver a picture that is almost entirely comparable to the picture that you can get on an M6. Just like when you buy a car, whether you buy a BMW or a piece of shit Toyota, they're both pretty much going to get you to where you need to go. But for certain people, they just like the way that a BMW feels, or they like the way that a Mercedes-Benz feels. There's something to be said about, the interior design, the way that it handles, the experience that you have while getting from point A to point B. And the same is true with cameras. If you have a better experience taking the picture, and you have an overall aids in the fact that you're having a better time while you're out shooting, then don't second guess that, don't question it. But I think that, you know, if you're getting into film photography and you just want a 35 mil camera that's going to get you a solid image, man, like, don't fall into the Leica trap right off the bat. I think they're incredibly overrated right now.
Analogy, I like that analogy of it, because
Yeah,
we can't help what we like, right? So go with it, or
yeah. And like, you might find, like, once you get to a point where you're like, I'm really invested in photography and it's really important to me, you know, then save up and get yourself a Leica or test drive one and see if it, you know, if it does add to that experience for you, then that's awesome. You know, if it's a tool that works in your toolkit, then go for it.
And the last one is double exposures.
I maybe I'm gonna say underrated. I don't know. I mean,
both sides went through your head and you were like, oh, they're shit. Actually,
that's what I saw. At first I was like, I overhyped, but then I was like, wait, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of double exposure work on film. Like, I've seen a good amount, but I've browsed r/analog on Reddit, and every once in a while a mind-boggling double exposure will pop up, and it's like, oh my gosh, especially since it's like film, you know, and if, you know, there's no Photoshop work done, it's like, well, that has to be appreciated for what it is. So I'll probably say underrated for double exposures. Kind of makes me want to experiment with them a little bit more, actually.
I didn't know if you wanted to or not, but we kind of wanted to speak to you about the community gallery, even if it's just a basic rundown of what it is.
I'll mention it briefly. It's just a place, an online gallery hosted on my website, where film photographers from all over the world can share the work that they make with people who are genuinely interested in film photography. It's for people that will actually take the time to dissect and appreciate the hard work that all these photographers are putting into their craft. So last summer, at the end of last summer, I started it, especially with the pandemic going on. We're doing in-person galleries and going to photo exhibitions or whatever. You know, wasn't necessarily possible. I just said, hey, let's do it virtually on my website, put it out to, you know, shot an announcement out on YouTube and Instagram, and just said, you know, hit me with your submissions with film images that you've taken. And I'll make a little online hub for where people can find new photographers, collaborate with other people, have a general discussions about film photography, because I didn't feel like there was a place for that on any of the social media platforms. They're obvious, like Instagram is a great place to share work, but not really dive deeper into the community and not really establish these deeper relationships or really take the time to appreciate people's work, because it's so easy to just swipe, you know, like a picture, look at it for 2 seconds. The community gallery is meant more for people to spend 30 minutes, an hour looking through these photographers' images. So that was the goal with it. And yeah, I've done 2 run-throughs of it so far. And now there's 225 total photographers that have been featured over the course of 2 galleries. And it's all permanently up on my website. So it's just a hub. Literally, you can just go on my website and look at people from all over the world, from different backgrounds, that are interested in different styles of photography. They have all their information up on their bios, on the website. So there's Instagram handles, you can reach out to people. It's just a hub for film photographers to share work and meet others, basically. And it's been definitely the most rewarding experience and project that I've done since I've gotten into film photography. It's incredible. It blows my mind every time I get a submission from people. And it's like, I just can't believe that some of these people, you know, I hop on their Instagram, they have like 200 followers, and their work is mind boggling. And so the goal is to, you know, help shine a light on these people, get some more exposure, and hopefully get some other people to come on and appreciate some high quality film photography.
That's awesome. I think that's awesome. Like, and you know, when we've tuned in and watched the, the live streams and
Yeah.
stuff. Like we said way earlier, way earlier, was that in the sentence? Like we said, there's so many great photographers that you just do not know about. And like you said about Instagram, you swipe down, you like it, you might leave a comment that says, nice photo, but no engagement is there. So, or there should be more engagement. You have the opportunity to do it, but it doesn't really become that thing. But like you said, if you put time aside to visually go and have a look at something, connect with that person, let them know what your thoughts are, feedback, good or bad, I think that's always a really good thing.
100%.
Don't feel like you have to answer this if you don't want, Brae, but is there anything you wanted to say as a final message before you leave, like a motivational speech, anything you're working on that you want to promote, whatever it is?
I'll just leave them with the my go-to piece of advice for anything creative, and that's just to have zero expectations and the right intentions with whatever it is that you're doing. This simple little statement that I try to stick to with my photography and videography: right intentions and no expectations. So
nice.
Yeah, but appreciate you guys having me on, and it's been awesome to chat it up. So looking forward to seeing everything that unfolds.